It's a revolution, style revolution, cultural revolution.
When we come out here, we have a fight.
Evolution does not occur in one stage. It's an evolutionary process. Like people go through different things.
The real content of any kind of revolutionary thrust lies in the principles and the goals that you're striving for.
That you are here. And to be here means that you can't be here by chance.
We have to become involved in a program of re-education to educate our people into the importance of knowing.
It's a revolution, style revolution, cultural revolution.
Yo, what up?
Yo, what's up?
You tuned into the Peaceful Rage podcast
Featuring Matt Murphy and Dr. Wes Bellamy. Two brothers,
working in our community,
active, caring for our families.
still trying to get back,
We see what's going on with the big picture.
and we pissed off about it.
Peaceful Rage Podcast.
Peaceful Rage podcast. It's been a crazy summer, bruh.
Bruh.
It's been
Yeah.
a crazy summer, yo.
Yeah. I mean, it's been good, but it's been like,
It's been hectic.
yeah, I tell you, man, this time last year, I looked ahead and I said, you know what? Something's got to happen in the next 12 months, man, or there has to be a major change in my life, dog.
And something happened for you.
I think there's some things happening. You know what I'm saying?
Hey!
But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, talking about being a crazy summer, like,
Yeah.
I just prepared myself for the season that was going to be, it was going to be some bumps and bruises, man, but it's all good.
And you pushed through.
Here we go.
Yo, much respect, man. Also, shout out to all of our listeners who've been checking in and even hitting us up. Yo, y'all can't be going a week without doing a podcast.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, it's my fault. I take the blame. My schedule has been hectic. This is my 7th city in the last 9 days. So I'm home for a couple of days and we getting it in. Murph been on me. Shout out to the ear. Shout out to Damani.
Word.
Like, yo, come on, we got to get it in. So I take full responsibility and blame for us not having an episode last week.
Yeah, we worked it out, though.
Yeah, we here now, so that's all that matters.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to my man Darnell down in Atlanta, yo. I got a chance to see Darnell this past weekend. The city did a pilgrimage.
Okay.
We went from Charlottesville to Danville, Virginia, to Appomattox, Virginia, to Greensboro, North Carolina, to Charlotte, North Carolina, to Atlanta, Georgia, to Birmingham, Alabama, and then finally ended up in Montgomery. And during the stop in Atlanta, we got a tour of the King Center and whatnot. I got a chance to spend some time there. And Darnell was like, yo, me and my homies, we listen to the show all the time.
Word up.
So shout out to the homie Darnell, yo, man. Much love, my brother.
Yeah, word up. What's up? That's what's up.
So, Murph, what we talking about today, man? I know it's a little, you know what I'm saying? This little,
We just getting back into the groove, man.
but we jumping right back in it, though.
Yeah, let's go.
But, yo, so today we're talking about not only male privilege,
Okay.
but also how there's been in this movement of support the black woman, stand up, speak up for the black woman. There's been a lot of brothers. Well, me personally, I've been hearing from a lot of brothers who are saying stuff like, yo, man, what about me? They've been feeling left out. They've been feeling as if they're being pushed to the back. And there's a lot of different opinions on that. So that's where we at today. I mean, Murph, what comes to mind?
So
when
the brothers is feeling lost in the sauce as our sisters feel are more empowered, as their voices are more heard. There's more weight given to what they're saying and doing. Like, kind of break it down a little bit.
So I'll say, for example, right, this weekend I was in Minneapolis. Shout out to everybody out there. And while there was a huge push for supporting black women, being supportive. Even on the pilgrimage, it was led. Shout out to Dr. Jelaine Schmidt and Dr. Andrea Douglas. And they made a big point of making sure that we highlight, talk about black women. In my speech before we left at the Jefferson School last Saturday, at the African American Heritage Center, I talked about how a lot of this stuff was trailblazed by black women. I get a lot of the credit for this whole statue situation and maybe changing the landscape of the city, but it's been black women who've really been carrying the load around the way. And I just been getting these messages, bro, from different people, different brothers. Like, yo, man, don't forget about the brothers. Like, the brothers been putting in work too. And I wonder, like, is that an insecurity, or is that legit and valid? Like, is in this era of us supporting and putting the sisters in there on a pedestal, in my opinion, in their rightful place, because they have been sacrificing for so long without getting their just due. Is it valid for brothers to feel as if they're being left out?
Why not? Why not? I mean, you can't. I can't tell you how you're supposed to feel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the right to do that. Right.
Okay.
So just like I don't have the right to tell a sister how she should feel about a topic, a situation, an encounter, a conversation.
Yeah.
Might I have that same right to feel how I feel?
You can definitely have the right to feel how you feel. I wonder, is that you being jealous or insecure in yourself?
Well, hold up. Is the sister being jealous or insecure in herself when she speaks on what it is that she feels? Like where is the standard and the balance? That's my problem. If we're having a conversation, is it an automatic bias? Or are we saying, no, this is a balanced situation? Yes, this person or this people group may have been in a position of power for X amount of time. Does it mean that their feelings, their emotions, their experience is now invalidated because of your rise in power, prominence, prestige, or you know what I'm saying, people hearing your side of the story?
So I definitely think there's a double standard, right?
Okay,
I will admit there is a double standard, but I think there's a double standard for a variety of different reasons. One, we are in an era or in a time and place right now in which society is definitely trying to elevate and push Black women. Mm-hmm. Right? I think we all can agree to that.
In what way?
So I think that when we talk about from leadership perspectives, when we talk about data points, we're trying to, support and encourage the sisters to not only continue to excel, but highlight the fact that sisters have been putting in the work for a very long time. And what comes to mind to me is that I wonder, why does that make brothers feel uncomfortable? So why are you not okay with elevating a sister? Because I mean, if we're being 100, the totem pole, in my opinion, has been white men, white women, black men, black women. They've been at the bottom of the totem pole.
Well, let me ask you this, and I want to get back to your question, but I almost want to come from another angle real quick, because in some ways, to me, I would ask the question: is this a tactic?
How so?
Look at the history of Black people's relationships with one another in our country, the history of it. So you start talking about plantation politics. You start talking about the intentional creation of division between the field and the house, light and dark, fill in the blank. Right. So what makes this any different? You start talking about, you start seeing the injection of these ideas of white feminists that have not fought for Black women being now embraced by Black women, right? And then this tension between them and Black men. And so, to me, maybe it's a tactic. Maybe it's a cause for division within our own community that shouldn't even be there. You know what I'm saying? Not that brothers shouldn't feel a certain way, or sisters shouldn't feel a certain way, but maybe this is something that we need to also be able to come together and speak on as a family, as Black people, right, without the insights and wisdom, if you would, right, of folks outside of our community.
That's real. That's definitely real. And I think, we don't have a female on the show, right? So, and we've always said that this show, while it's for everyone, is specifically catered for Black men.
Right.
A thing that I would love to have a conversation with is that, as we continue to expound on this, is why is it, though, that brothers feel jaded or slighted when Black women, or in this era as Black women, have become elevated? That shit to me is just bugged out.
Can you share an example without putting anybody on blast?
I give a very clear one, right? So we were, I was somewhere. I won't give the example that I really want to give. I was somewhere in the city. I'll just say I was somewhere in the city, right? And shout out to my sister, Mayor Nakia Walker, right? The first Black female mayor in our city's history. So someone said to me, Wes, how well do you get along with Nakia? And I say, I get along with her very well, right? Like, we talk every day, if not every other day. I mean, that's my people, right? And that's my sister. I love her to death. She been riding with me when it really wasn't cool to ride with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my people. So he said to me, like, yo, man, you should have been the mayor. And he said, I watched that city council meeting, and you, when she nominated you to be the mayor, and you said no, you declined it, and then you gave a long speech about why she should be the mayor. Man, you should have been the mayor. You was already on council. You should have been the mayor. And I said, well, brother, what difference does it make? Like, why can't she get a chance? She's from here. She's very smart. Yo, she deserves to be it. She obviously got, a ton of votes. Like, let's rock with her. And he was like, man, brothers just getting pushed to the side. Brothers getting pushed to the side. And he went on to expound. I think he was a little drunk, but I think he was speaking the truth. Right? He was speaking his truth, rather. I ain't gonna say it was the truth, it was his truth. And he went on and on about how, like, all these different instances in which black men are being emasculated, in his opinion, as black women are being elevated. And I challenged him similar to what you said. It's like, brother, why do we have to be against each other? But I didn't want to dismiss what he was saying.
Right.
Because I think there's some validity from his perspective. But he's not the only brother who I've heard say similar things like that, right? And not just about like me and Nakaya, but like just, again, as black women are being more elevated in society, right? And more celebrated, brothers are feeling like black men are just being left behind. And I just wonder, is that you being insecure, or is there truth to that? Or again, like you said, bro, why we gotta fight or be pitted against each other?
Well, let me ask you this. You know, and I've kind of heard this example given when you start talking about like white privilege, you know, and this idea of you're in an 8-lap race and white folks are 4 laps ahead and they fire that second gun. Now we get to run. They say, catch up. You should catch up. You had the same opportunity as me.
You should.
Okay. So, right. I mean, that's what they say. We're like, oh, you don't understand. You're 4 laps ahead. I couldn't even start. Like, we couldn't read. It was against the law to read. Now you act like we're supposed to have good grades.
Literally.
You know what I mean? So I just had to say, in reference to men and women, perhaps it's a thing where men, we're a couple laps ahead. And you're not getting cut out. They're just catching up. I don't know. You know what I mean? But there's another angle.
But black women have been putting their lives on the line, literally.
Sure.
For generations, right? Like for hundreds of years. And why is it wrong that they are finally getting their just due? I can see why some brothers would feel like they're having to take a back seat, right? I was somewhere this weekend. We were in Minneapolis, and I was there. Shout out to Local Progress. They gave me an award and all this other stuff, right? And there was a concerted effort to highlight black women. And a brother said, well, damn, man, what about the brothers? Like, what about the brothers? And I think it's unpopular to say, but a lot of brothers feel that way, but they don't say it. And I wonder if it's their male privilege. Is it because they're toxic? Is it because they don't want to share the spotlight? Or is it because they're just chauvinists? Or is it because, they really feel like they're being left behind?
Yeah, I'd be curious to have a conversation with one of them brothers, man. Because, I mean, I know for myself, like, I've looked around at kind of the current landscape that is in our country and have wondered. And I read an article not too long ago, and the headline was, are, like, heterosexual black men the new white men of, you know what I mean? Like our culture, like, you know what I mean? It was just like, and what they basically talked about was, oftentimes in the public forum, especially in the media in particular, you watch a lot of these shows, right? A lot of these news programs, you'll see effeminate black men that are promoted and that are presented oftentimes. And these are oftentimes some of the characters and shows and all these things. So you start talking about the image of black men being feminized in many ways, you know what I mean? And the heterosexual black men feeling some kind of way behind it because they're like, I can't be a strong brother anymore because we've been characterized in this way, you know what I mean? And this is the new move, this is the new wave that we have to promote and encourage homosexuality, you know what I mean? And just so happens they put a person of color in that role, and now there's this kind of, I've heard brothers talk about this, like angry about gay black men getting certain kind of shine. Right. And like, damn, I'm getting played to the left because I'm straight. And I'm getting told I'm the bad guy because I'm straight. You know what I mean? Like, so I think there's a couple different sides of the game.
So even speaking to that point, right, there's a level of insecurity that I think that a lot of brothers have.
Okay.
Right? Because as others are being elevated, you feel as if you are losing your spot. Why? Right? So why are you so afraid to share the spotlight? Why are you afraid to be able to support someone who may look like you, who may go through very similar issues to you, but may have a different sexual orientation or a different sexual preference? I've seen, like there was a lot of backlash for Nipsey Hussle when he was talking about, he put up a picture of, I think one of his homeboys was like mentoring some kids or something, and he was like, yo, I'm very proud of my man, and you don't see this on TV often, or the media won't highlight a strong brother who's not gay, who's not this, who's not that, who's giving back to his community. He was saying similar to what you were just alluding to, right? And I think that, some people...
Why would I mean? But here's the thing: why would they even take shit from that? Because if somebody highlighted somebody that was gay doing the same thing, it's good. But I can't say this brother's straight and now it's bad because he said he's straight. Like, what is that shit? That to me, that's that imbalance in the universe, in my opinion.
My thing is, why do we care?
Well, that's
so. That's my like. Why do you care if a brother is straight or if he's gay and he's being highlighted? As long as they're doing the work,
right? Because I'm gonna tell you like this: if I meet somebody for the first time, and I just meet them like as a human being, whether it's in a business scenario, whether it's in a social setting, whatever the case is, and you feel like you need to identify your sexuality upon the first time that we've communicated, I don't know. That's not my priority when I'm communicating with people. I don't understand why that needs to be, like the thing, like, take this. This is my thing. Know that this is what I like. Like,
yeah, but I don't know how often that is.
Well, what I'm saying is...
Do you think that's often?
I'm not saying it's often, but what I'm saying is the promotion of, right? The promotion of homosexuality, if you would, in this scenario that we're talking about.
Right.
The promotion of it, right? Will we agree that there's an active promotion of it? That there's an act... Like, you see more about homosexuality, gay rights, the celebration of LGBT relationships. You see that celebration more now than you did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You see it more now than you did 20 years ago.
But it's because they've been denied for a long time. They haven't been getting their just due. So what's wrong with them now getting a little bit of shine? I'm not saying that's not what you're saying. I'm just saying, like,
right.
in general.
So I'm saying, going back to the example with Nipsey, though, why would anybody have a problem with him saying, let me celebrate my strong black heterosexual brother? Because in pride, some might say, let me celebrate my strong black gay sister.
Yeah.
I mean,
or trans or whatever.
Right?
Like,
why are you mad?
Yeah.
On both sides, that's my question. Why are you mad?
Because we sensitive as hell. As a society.
Yeah.
We sensitive, bro. So it's like, if you ain't talking straight to me, you know what I'm saying?
I think we underdeveloped emotionally. I don't know if we sensitive.
That's
we just childish.
We're undeveloped. Yo, that's real. Yeah. So there are a lot of us who are undeveloped emotionally.
Yeah.
And we can't handle... So, we talked about earlier, and I asked that question, why do brothers get mad when they see sisters being elevated, or why, like, even as you made the point, there definitely is there's an active role in the media now.
Mama, why ain't I get one?
Right.
Well, go ahead.
It's exactly that, though. Why are they highlighting the gay dude? Why they not highlighting me? Instead of us taking an approach like, yo, all right, well, that's what's up. Like, let's support them. Because to me, it comes down to doing the work.
Right.
Like, I really don't give a fuck who you like, what you like, however you like it, if you're helping our culture and our people move forward. That should be the underlying factor to me.
Right.
But I know everybody sees that differently. And I can admit that I haven't always thought this way.
Sure.
Right. Like, and I also would agree with you. There definitely is a larger emphasis on supporting or making sure that everyone supports the rights of those who are LGBTQ or women and so forth. I was in an Uber when I was in Atlanta the other day, and they were the Uber driver. We talking. He's like, "Yo, where you from?" Like, "I'm from here." Whatever. Like, we talking, we rapping, and so forth. And the brother goes, "Yeah, man. Like, man, they taking over. They taking over down here." And I'm like, "What you mean? Like, who is they? Like, what are you talking about?" And he goes, "Man, yeah, the whole 10th Street is painted purple, like to support that gay stuff." So I said, "Bro, like, what's wrong with that?" I asked him, right, like, so what's wrong with that? He was like, "Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. I support it. Like, get it how you live. But damn, they trying to force it down our throats."
Is that fair? Is that a fair assessment, you think?
So to me, no.
Why?
Because they painted a street purple to show love and support to brothers.
What if some people painted their houses gray and said they were straight? But how'd that be received?
Bro, people do that all the time.
No, but I'm saying, no, intentionally, like, hey, we're painting these 5 houses in a row gray, and that represents our heterosexuality. How would that be received?
I think that would be stupid. Yeah, it's a double standard. And I'm fine with saying it's a double standard.
Why would that be stupid though?
Yo, why the hell do you need to paint your house?
So why you gotta paint that shit with a rainbow then?
Because, dog, you showing support, dog. Heterosexuality and people being in this kind of celebrating being straight or that being the norm has been it for literally hundreds of years. To me, it's synonymous with people saying like, yeah, I'm proud to be white. And they getting mad when we say that we're proud to be black. And to me, dog, that's one of the biggest shits that I don't get why people don't understand. And I think me and you may differ from this.
Okay, let's go.
Like, yo, dog, motherfuckers been saying that they're proud to be white or Anglo-Saxon or European forever. That's always been the dominant culture. The same with being straight.
They've had what it is. They've had the freedom to celebrate that pride.
So straight people have had the freedom to celebrate their pride forever. Right. And now we're just getting into a level of acceptance and tolerance in which it's okay to be LGBTQ.
So let me push back a little bit there.
Okay, please.
Have we had a straight pride celebration? Do we need a straight pride celebration?
Bro,
Should there be a straight pride? Or is everything a straight pride
celebration? All them shits is straight pride. To me.
So the emphasis on sexual preference is what's being on display in what you say is I don't even know what a straight pride celebration would look like, but versus what maybe LGBTQ celebration would look like the expression of it. You understand what I'm saying?
So for me, I don't understand why we, and I'm gonna be specific, why we as brothers don't understand how this is very similar to what white people say about us.
What you mean?
Like, why do y'all need a Black History Month? Why do you need why do you need a Black a cultural fest? Why do you need an African American festival? Right? I don't understand how we don't.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't have it.
And I'm not saying you saying that.
I'm just saying, why does it have to be?
Because they are oftentimes ostracized, not given the freedom to be able to move around or be able to just be comfortable in certain settings. So they need something for themselves to be able to support each other, create their own space in which they're comfortable. Again, to me, dog, it's no different from Black folks saying like, yo, we need Black spaces for us to be free. Because there's also gay Black people.
Okay, there
and
is.
Gay trans people.
Absolutely. And I was just getting ready to talk about that. And I'm just going to turn just for a second before we get to that, though.
Okay. Yo, what up? You tuned into the Peaceful Rage podcast featuring me, Dr. Wes Bellamy, and my man, Matt Murphy.
So all that being said, it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like this celebration helps to, and celebration is you know what I mean, but this promotion, if you would, this continued exposure, right, helps to normalize.
Yeah.
This subsect of our culture, right? Because we're all part of a subsect in some capacity, right? So this subsect of our culture. All right. So it's the attempt to normalize it. Then my question to you, Black man, is: have we as Black men, gay or straight, let's just say Black men, been normalized in American culture? And if we have not been normalized and fully accepted in the way that we think we should be, why would we pick up and fight for somebody else, whether it's gay, whether it's Latino, Asian, anybody else? Like, we ain't even got ours yet, but everybody's calling for us to come help them about some shit. Come be on our team. Something happened over here. Now, am I making sense?
That makes perfect sense. And I'm not going to say that you're wrong, but I think we have an obligation to help because there are gay Black people. Just like in this whole immigration situation, right? I've seen people say like, yo, that ain't our problem. Black people say that ain't our problem. Like, that's a Latino thing. Nah, bro. It's over 200,000 Black immigrants in the country who are also on DACA. Yo, we have to lend our support to them.
Do we?
So you can't, to me, you can't say it's the same. It's all the same to me.
Okay.
You can't say that, yo, you're going to be for supporting Black people and not be willing to support gay people, because there are gay Black people.
I agree, and let me just say this, and just in agreement with you.
Like,
I had this conversation today. I said, real talk. If you look at the values of our country, Black people are the most conservative part of our society.
No doubt. We're conservative as hell.
We are the most conservative subsect, in, whether it's religious practice, whether it's tradition, family interactions, financially, all those things, right?
Yeah.
And so
we really identify with Republicans.
From a moral perspective, we we probably would. And the challenge, we start talking about the civil rights movement, is the amount of gay people that fought back in the 50s, 60s, 70s during the civil rights movement as gay black people, and yet their voices were pushed down. You had a couple that were promoted, you had a couple that were celebrated, a couple that could not be denied, right? No doubt.
Shout out to James Ball.
Right, of course, you always use him as an example, but how many more were there?
Oh, a ton.
That felt as though, hey, I'm fighting for this, my skin color, but there's so much more of me that I don't have the right to be. You know what I mean? And black people suppressed that shit.
Right.
We did that within our own culture.
We suppressed it.
Right.
And
so this is the struggle that we have internally. So I'm saying, why do we take cues from white feminists when it comes to how we interact and deal with black women? And I feel like that's some of what's happening nowadays.
So elaborate on that. Taking cues from white feminists.
So you look at kind of like the feminist movement and that whole ideology and how it began to grow, in the 60s and 70s. The white feminists that were gaining prominence, Gloria Steinem and all those, they were not for black women. They were not for, it wasn't about women. It was about white women.
Right.
And so that same philosophy and ideology carries over. But what happens is our black women are exposed to that white supremacist feminist ideology, and some of it trickles in.
Oh, no doubt. You see the Women's March.
Right. And so again, the way that black people and black families have maybe traditionally interacted in this country, the way that we conservatively value one another as a community internally is now influenced by those very people and ideas that wasn't set up for us in the first place, and they didn't give a shit about us in the first place, and it's causing division within our community.
That's real. That shit gets passed down. It's been passed down from forever. We find ways to internally fight and be pitted against each other. However, I do believe in today's society and our generation, we are a lot more together than we've not ever been, but a lot more together than we've been in some time. And I do think that us being challenged to mature emotionally and develop emotionally, as you alluded to initially, is a good thing. So when a brother says that, why are black women being elevated? Damn, what about the brothers? The same way that a brother may say, damn, man, or a straight brother may say, damn, the LGBTQ people, like, they taking over, they forcing it down our throats. Those things are challenging us to develop emotionally, to be more tolerant and acceptable, but also to understand that we are not a monolith.
Agreed.
And because we're not a monolith, and because we oftentimes, black men oftentimes benefit from a system of this patriarchal system in which men have so much more privilege than women, there's nothing wrong with us supporting and elevating our women, and in my opinion, also having the feeling of, what about me?
Do you think that you can carry both?
You can have both, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right? But just be able to emotionally understand why you're having those feelings and be able to work through those feelings in a constructive manner.
You know, that just made me think of this skit. What's the brother's name, man? It's an Indian dude, Aziz.
Okay.
You know, he's a comedian. He was on a bunch of shows, man.
Azari.
Okay, thank you to the ear. Yeah, I'm terrible with names.
Yo, the ear just spoke through the damn
and I appreciate it. But he had this skit where he opened up and he was like, "Oh, just because Obama's in the office, Obama's not in office anymore. Y'all want to sit up here and act like you don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Still treat people a certain way and talk about gay and trans people a certain way." And he's like, "No, you still have to fake it." And that blew my mind because part of what I think we have right now, Wes, is everything's so raw. In a way, I almost appreciate it because that lets me know, like, there's a degree of political correctness that I think creates a smokescreen and a fog that makes us think things are better than what they are. And as long as we talk like we're on the same page, everything's cool. But we see by Trump's having been elected, there was a lot of bile and vitriol inside of people, and that was expressed. Whether they said, "I would never vote for Trump," and hid behind the curtain and swung for his ass, right, or whatever, right? But the real feelings came out. So in a way, we get to actually see how deep the wound is.
I agree with that.
I'm not saying I necessarily like it, but you know what? Imagine Hillary had won.
Yeah.
Would we have had, of course we don't know, but I'm just thinking, would we have had some of the conversations we are having?
No.
Exactly.
No.
And which ones are more fruitful or effective?
Yeah.
Which ones might we see greater change from?
The difficult ones.
You know,
for sure.
so I don't know, man. It's just like, I feel like for a long time, and there's a whole conversation surrounding the loss of freedom of speech in often the most liberal university settings, where the speech of speakers and those that come visit those places are most restricted in the most quote unquote liberal of universities. So we start talking about, you know what I mean, what you can and can't say about things and people as we respect their growth and development and advocation, you know what I'm saying, for their rights. We also recognize how possibly, like maybe some of these brothers are talking about, I feel as though my rights are being infringed upon. Now, you can say the same thing. White men might have said, well, that nigga shouldn't get the job. Well, affirmative action, my rights are being infringed upon.
Yeah.
Right.
They have said that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Is that the case though, or is it different?
I think it's different, in my personal opinion.
Word up. I'm down with that.
And a lot of it due to the fact that we are, as you alluded to, emotionally developed. Underdeveloped, excuse me. And because of our lack of development, even if you're being polite and, real shit, I think there's two groups of people that you don't want to fuck with.
Okay.
One, the LGBTQ community, and then definitely black women, in my opinion, right? Like, because
why?
They're going to be on your bumper. Like, the LGBTQ community has so much support from people around the country. It is very, very bad to be seen as homophobic.
Okay.
That can be a death sentence. Secondly, with black women, in this rise in this atmosphere right now, in terms of the amount of support that they're getting from around the world, and elevating the fact that they are some of the smartest people, some of the brightest people. They've been caretakers. They always hold it down, loyal, and so forth. It's a group that you don't want to fuck with. So because brothers, all right, and we can talk about a lot of other groups, but we're talking about brothers. Because brothers may know this, they may have to, as you alluded to, fake the level of respect that they have. And I don't think that's always a bad thing, because here's why. My hope, and I'm an eternal optimist. If in your faking it to be a feminist or respect women and respect people from LGBTQ community, whatever, if that leads you to become more emotionally developed, then it's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, as we kind of get ready to wrap this up, just thinking about how brothers could, one, like we started the show off, feeling like, hey, I'm being left behind. Or some of like what you're talking about is saying, hey, you need to actually kind of come up in your understanding, grow into a deeper understanding. And a lot of times, I'll be real, we haven't had to.
Right.
Right. And so it's almost like, you want grace from me, give me some grace. And I feel like that grace is not given a lot of times, and that's what I have a problem with. Yo, what's up? You're listening to the Peaceful Rage podcast featuring me, Matt Murphy, and Dr. Wes Bellamy.
You talking to a dude who done got slammed over tweets from he was 21, 22.
Right, come on, bro.
So it was very well documented how sexist, homophobic, and all that shit that I used to be.
Right.
But I was afforded grace, and I know in my privilege, I was afforded grace, and also the opportunity to be able to develop and grow.
Right.
Because of the experiences that I've had, mainly because of being here in Charlottesville, right? Just being exposed to different people. And you're right. A lot of brothers, because of our surroundings and our settings, are not forced to be able to have to develop emotionally or to be able to understand other people's and different people's perspectives, right? We're lacking in emotional intelligence. A lot of us are. So for the brothers listening to this, I would encourage you to, one, seek counseling, but also don't be afraid to go and read up on why it's important for us to be able to support others, mainly women, LGBTQ people, or people who are just not like you. And it's okay for you to have feelings as if you are being left behind. Like, that's natural. That's okay. There's nothing, you don't have to be ashamed of that. But what you do and how you act on it is what makes the difference. Right. Reading things like bell hooks. For real, I'm gonna be 100 with you too. I learned a lot of this shit, like how to open up my mind and be open to different people on Twitter. Like, people really showed, like, yo, dog, it's so many homophobic people out here, or people who really just hate black women. Like, on Twitter, I really learned, dog, how much we hate black women. And a lot of it comes from black men. Sure. You know what I'm saying? And
you got a lot of self-hatred.
A lot of self-hatred. And then I started reading, researching, trying to understand why, and it helped develop me emotionally. Now, I'm not saying like I'm Mahatma Gandhi or some shit and I have all the answers. and I'm, pure because I still get upset about certain things just like everybody else. But I think that as we change our experiences and we, as you alluded to, challenge ourselves to develop emotionally, it can help us be better human beings. It's for the purpose of this show, better Black men.
Right. Because
you can't lead if you're not where you need to be emotionally.
That's what's up, man. I mean, I think the more that we engage and encounter, and we're not just talking about anybody in the LGBT community just specifically, but the more we engage with diverse communities, the more opportunities we have to grow in our understanding of maybe why they do what they do. Or you know what I mean, why this is important to this group of people. Yeah. Like, and how we live kind of harmoniously inside of that. You know what I mean? So I think that's part of it for ourselves as well, just as Black men, like wanting some semblance of peace in our lives, recognizing one, we're not a monolith, right? So all of our voices are not the same. And so, and then two, also saying that, when you open yourself up to those experiences where you are actually encountering people and hearing their story, because everybody's got one, that gives you the opportunity to change it. You know what I mean? How you see and how you interact with people. Because a lot of times it may just be that one person that changes somebody's life. I mean, how many people have we known over the years that have, at least, and we've talked about it on previous shows, I've known families that, you know what I mean, like, the white daughter has a biracial child, and all of a sudden the parents flip up and there's love there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They got to grow through some shit. Right. Same thing. If you are a, heterosexual Black male and your son comes home and he identifies as gay, like, how do you love him? I ain't talking about nobody else in this world and their rights, none of that shit. I'm talking about how do you love your child? Right. You know what I mean?
I think that would be difficult for a lot of us.
Probably.
And that's why you see a lot of gay Black men hide the fact that they're gay or go through these certain growing pains because they're not allowed to be themselves because it's still seen as taboo. And that's the reason why we need Pride Fests or we need events and spaces to allow them to be open. The same reason why Black women need spaces to be celebrated. And they need to be told that they're great and they're this and they're that because they're oftentimes stepped on. No different from brothers. Like, we all need spaces to be celebrated, elevated, encouraged so that we can go out and continue to do this work. Because being Black, whether you're a man, a woman, gay, you straight, trans, whatever, is still hard as a mug.
I agree. It's hard, bro. I think my only pushback on that is I don't necessarily think that Black people need to pick up everybody else's flag and fight the fight for them.
So even if we pick up our own, there's intersectionality. So to that point, I challenge you. If you're saying we have to pick up the fight for ourselves, if you're fighting for gay rights, you still will be fighting for Black rights because there's gay Black people.
And well, you're a politician. You understand how government works. Yeah. You understand
I'm
what
an elected official, not a politician.
Okay, thank you.
It's a difference.
Yeah, correct me.
Go ahead.
When you start talking about blocks of people and levels of influence and how power is presented and power and things are moved around. Yeah. Black people as a collective. Yeah. As Black people. Where's that voice and where's the clarity of that voice? Do we have a clarity of voice for the LGBT community? I think we do.
How?
In their cause, in their fight, I think there's a clarity of their voice and what they're saying. These are the things that we want. These are things that we should have. These are things that should be respected and understood and appreciated.
They want basic fundamental rights, though. That's the clarity. Black folks, we have, I'm not going to say, obviously, we see brothers getting shot and killed all the time. Sisters, too, getting killed. Shout out to Sandra Bland, 3 anniversary this past week. Yo, we have been fighting for basic fundamental rights a lot longer than the LGBTQ community.
Have we got them?
I think we've gotten more than they have.
Okay.
And there's also a fact that there are gay people who are Black. It's okay for us, in my opinion, just on your
powerful.
point.
So powerful, gay, white supremacists. What do we do with them?
They out here,
but they advocating for gay rights.
Are they?
I'm just saying why. I mean, they could be. They could be. And so in that advocacy for their gay rights, what makes that different than the white feminist who wasn't there for black people? Trust me, bro. Yeah. There are gay white supremacists that don't give two shits about gay black people.
Oh, of course. All.
And those people have power.
Yeah.
And so
you hear that in the LGBT community all the time.
Right. And am I encouraging that nonsense? Am I encouraging white feminism that doesn't care about black women?
So how do you nuance it to just support just black folks?
That's what I'm saying, though. So is it just blackness?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just think about looking at all the things that have happened in this country. How in the past 2-3 years, how many times have black people, black leaders specifically, been called upon, black people called upon to say, we need to help and encourage this group, LGBT, Latino, refugees, immigrants, whatever the case is, outside of the LGBT community, because I think there's a lot in the gay community that have stood up for Black lives and Black Lives Matter. There's that interlinking. Where's La Raza for black people? Where's the Asian advocacy groups for black people? Where's all these other people that are calling for black people to come support, help, encourage, help us, support us? They don't fight for us when the kids are dying in Chicago. They're not fighting for us when police are shooting us down on the street. Yet they still call on us day in and day out to help and advocate and fight for them. I have kind of an issue with that.
So see, I disagree with that because I feel like they do fight for us.
Yeah.
But I think that's where there may be...
Quietly, right?
I don't think it's quietly.
Okay.
Shit, you go to Black Lives Matter rallies, you see...
I'm not talking about Black Lives Matter. I'm talking about groups for... Was it Latino groups or for Asian groups?
I see a lot of them. So, but again, I know I run in different circles.
I said, educate me, bro.
Yeah, so I in my experiences, I've seen those same groups fight for their causes, but also lend support to ours as well.
Okay.
Right? Like I've seen a lot of intersectionality amongst the groups and them lending support because they often see that like the shit that happens to us is much more egregious than anyone else. So they lend their support. I mean, I've seen several different Latino groups, Asian groups, Cambodian groups send letters of support for the movement for Black lives in a variety of different ways.
Well, that's dope then. And I'm glad you said that. And I'm glad that you said that and I can hear you say that.
Yeah, but I don't think the media is always going to highlight it.
Right.
Because they want to keep us separated. Frank Hampton talked about this. Shout out to Chairman Fred from the Black Panther Party. He would say black power to black people, yellow power to yellow people, brown power to brown people, white power to white people, because we're all in this shit together. And what they being white supremacists in these systems that are created to keep all of us down don't want is for us to be able to come together and take their shit over. So it's not going to be highlighted when we work together or when we lend our support to each other. Then that ain't what mainstream wants. But I think more of it's happening.
That's a good word. And I mean that's what's up. And I think brothers on the street would, you know what I mean, like, we're not going to see that on the news. We're not going to see that on CNN. We're not going to see that highlighted in the major media outlets. But, if those things are happening, then that's beautiful.
But for you to see it, you got to get out the hood. You got to get out your block. You got to get off your square. You got to get off what you're accustomed to. You got to open yourself up to be willing to see and do some other shit or be around some other people to figure out how they actually do support you or be the catalyst for change to get them to understand why it's important for them to support you.
Is that privilege talking?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm giving you shit.
Nah, you real. That's real. Yeah, we talked about this before. I have to recognize my privilege. I know because of who I am.
Yeah.
I can say certain shit and people gonna be like, oh yeah, let's do it. That's not everybody.
Right.
So I have to use my privilege in the right way.
Right. Now, that's what's up, man. I mean, we've both seen and been around all kinds of things. And I think it gets us to a point where
some good, some fucked up.
Where we're confident with who we are as men. We're confident in what we believe in. We recognize we've made mistakes. We want to, overcome and grow beyond those things and continue to grow as people.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? So,
no doubt.
So you're right. I think even if it's a situation where you can't necessarily get out and move around the way you want to, like you said, you got on Twitter, information is out there. We can educate and equip ourselves into a better understanding of the things that we're dealing with now in 2018.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? So
I rock with it.
That's what's up.
Yo, that's enough for this week, man. Appreciate y'all checking in with us, man. Shout out to my guy, Matt Murph, this West B. Shout out to the ear. Shout out to everybody listening to us, man. Be sure to drop them 5 stars on iTunes. Check us out on Podbean. Hit us up on YouTube. Also, Peace of Rage Podcast. Hit us up on Facebook as well as Instagram, Peace of Rage Podcast. Murph, you got anything else, man?
That's it, brother.
All right, man. Yo, fuck white supremacy. We'll see y'all next week.
Yes.
So, yo, as always, man, we want to thank the listeners. Appreciate y'all rocking with us.
Absolutely, man.
Shout out to our sponsors.
IQ Marketing, Ty Cooper.
Shout out to our producer, The Ear. Yo, what up, man? At Damani for press, hit him up. And also, if you want to be able to sponsor with us, or you want to come through on the show, look out for us. Hit us up on Gmail at peacefulragepodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on social media at Peaceful Rage Podcast on all social media websites. That's Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.